Today's show is about juicing or blender. I got a new present, just came from UPS. We have some fruits and vegetables. We're going to get it started and give it a try, so stick around. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Diabetic Diet Show. The first thing that you want to do is to unpack your juicer. So, it comes in a box. Need a girlfriend to hand it to. Put that over there. She's the opposite of on Let's Make a Deal, where Caramero carried the box down the aisle. She carries it off the aisle. So your juicer comes in with a bunch of pieces and accessories. Now, you get 2 cups. You get a waste cup and you get your juice cup. It has a tube that goes on the front of your machine. You have to snap that in place. Here's your push tube, a nice push tube, but it also has a platform that the old ones didn't have. So I like that. That's really nice. So you put your platform on however you want it, like that. That's your pusher. Then this is your masher. And you know the difference between a bullet blender and a juicer is probably there is a lot of crossover things, but you put different things in the blender than you do the juicer. The juicer squeezes the fiber out of the fruit that you're running through it. Where the juicer, you'll use that a lot if you're going to add some liquids. Let's say, for example, you're going to put in some coconut milk, or you just want to put in some water. You can put in a lot of different things which are liquid in this, but you can't put them in the juicer. Now, also, there's powders. There's nuts and berries and powders and things like that that you could put in here. There's also fruit. We buy fruit. Hold that. A lot of hands here. Turn that around so they can see. So these are berries. You can run berries, but you can't run these through the juicer. These have to go through the bullet. Here's strawberries and mixed vegetables. So you kind of need to have both. And if you have an old blender, it'll probably work okay. Although this new bullet has some really neat blades in it that do a fantastic job of cutting things up so that you can make a healthy drink. So we're not going to talk too much more about the juicer. We're going to focus today on this juicer. And we'll get this all opened up here and plug him in. Now, when you get this, the first thing you want to do with it is to run some lemons through it. And one very important thing is to use the wrench that comes with it and make sure that the nut on the front is tight. We tested this. We put it together, tested it to make sure that it worked, and we didn't tighten this up, and it shot across the room, so that was kind of funny. But it wouldn't juice very well. So what I've done is I already ran some lemon through, although I do have some more lemons that we can run. And for carrots, I used all my whole carrots, but you can use carrots of any kind that you have. And of course, the carrots, you're not going to get as much juice out of a carrot through a juicer as you would through the blender. Apples work real well. Pineapples work real well. Kale is a fantastic thing. Spinach, they'll go through here. But what you do have to do is pack them in and pack them in tight. Now, the old models, the waste used to be here in this can. With the new machine, both come out of the front, out of the nose of it. So your waste goes here, this is your fibers, and then your liquid is here. Now if you want, you can make pies and cakes and things with the fibers, or use it for compost, but really the most useful part is your juice. Now some things are hard to work with, and that would be a pomegranate. Pomegranate is full of seeds, and they're real hard to work with. I don't know that you'll be too happy with them. The pineapple, celery, this stuff is real easy to use, and I think you'll be real happy using that. Get my pineapple tool ready here over with my knives and the apples. You can open that if you want. Turn it sideways so they don't roll away. Now, oranges, of course this is 2021 and we're coming off a bad year of 2020 with things being closed and not being shipped. And I am right outside of Chicago in a major market, and I couldn't get any oranges. The only thing I could get is the little cuties, tangerines. So it's fine, you can run these through the machine, but I really wanted some big Florida or California oranges, the ones about this big. So, lots of good food in there and vitamin C and stuff, so those are really good. The lemon is just a really good taste, and if you want, you can roll your lemons like this to make them juicy. Just like this, you roll them. Apples, of course, you can buy different size apples. You have big apples and smaller apples. And then you need the tools for cutting these, and the tools for cutting the pineapple. So here's the tool for cutting the pineapple. Now, these apples, you don't want to cut them until you're absolutely ready to run them through the machine, because they're going to brown up. Okay, and then you have broccoli. Here's broccoli. That's real good. You could run that through the juicer. So I'm just going to put these in here like this, and I'm going to start with the pineapple. Now this is kind of a small one. I'm kind of surprised that this one ended up in the market, because in the past I've got some that are larger. So you just want to cut off the top like that. And of course, if you can be straighter, the better. That's why I went with a big wide blade knife, because I knew it would help me to make it straighter. Okay, and then we need to pitch a couple of things. Hold that in one hand, hold this in the other. Okay, and then those can go in the trash. Now, if you want, you can save your pineapple top and put it on the table, especially with Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays. You could use that as a garnish. And just clean this cutting board off here a little bit from the tines. This one's pretty dry. This is the day to do this. It's kind of, the thing is do it or you're going to lose the fruit, because I've had it for a few days getting ready to do the show. There we go. There's the bottom. Now on the top of the juicer, there is a little push button that you can hit. The handle comes off, just like that. Then this part can go through if you want. You can clean things out however you want, or you can use it to pull your pineapples out. So, and now pineapple is one of these things that you can put in your blender or your juicer. There is an off-on button. There is a hard button, which gears it down, the transmission that's in here. And then there's a soft button. And the soft button moves slower, but it's geared more. And you need that sometimes with things like lemons. Then you can hit the off button. There also is a reverse button. So if you hit it, it runs the opposite way to if it gets bogged down. Okay, so we're going to turn it on. And I'm just going to run it in the hard mode, because I'm not in a real big hurry. Now, the other thing that I did was I bought bottles. And I bought like a case of a dozen bottles. And I thought I would make drinks and then put them in the freezer, because this will last longer in the freezer than, of course, it would in the refrigerator. You'll get 3 easy, you'll get 4 days of this in the refrigerator. Putting it in the freezer, you get a lot more than that. So, after I got the bottles, I got thinking that what I would do is I would just bottle up each thing, and then I can mix it as I want, because there's different recipes for this. So for example, here's the lemons. Let's see about the lemons. Okay, there you go, Barb. Push your lemon in there, just like that. Look at that. See, now you're not going to be able to do that with the blender. I know people will do this on a daily basis to have fresh drinks, but what I thought I would do would be to do it maybe once a week. That way you don't have so much work, you don't have so much mess, and then use these bottles that I bought. They're right here behind me. And they have a real nice lid that they came with. So you can put a lid on them, you can take them to work if you want. Take them out to sports activities or wherever you're going. So I was thinking that's kind of what I would do today, is I would cut up each of these individually. Since I have a dozen bottles, I certainly have enough bottles for what I have here. And then we can pour and mix drinks. And I'm not going to switch to just drinking juice. I'm not looking to fast for 30, 60, 90 days. What I'm looking to do is to drink the juice in between a healthy meal. So when you get hungry, you go for something healthy, and that's what this juice will be. So you're sitting watching TV or the computer and you get hungry, go for the juice, you drink the juice in between the meal, and you have that, and that will be good for you. Okay, now that should be finishing up. So let's go ahead and pull this out. You want to hit the power button and stop it? There you go, Barb, good job. This might be a little messy. We might have to have paper towels handy. But here's the juice that I got. And I have more lemons in the refrigerator. I just didn't want to make a big long video just on things. Of course, the pineapple, we got cut up the whole pineapple. But so there's my lemon juice. Now go hit the hard button again, please. And we can start on these pineapples. Now the pineapples are working really well. This machine works well, and I'm running it in the slower speed where it's strong. The tray is a nice addition on the top, so you can put the stuff in the tray. But in all honesty, I wish it had a bigger funnel. If it had something a little wider so you could put stuff in, I think it would be a little nicer. It does seem to be working, and it is working well. But I think a bigger funnel would be my request for them to make, especially since it's plastic and probably costs less than 2 cents. Okay, now we need to bottle that up. So you hit the off button, and we got quite a bit out of that pineapple, and that was a small pineapple. The other thing is there's no beaker on this to pour. I'm surprised we have a glass with no pour beaker on it. There you go. So that's just out of 1 pineapple, that's what I got. That's quite a bit. So once you start mixing all this together, this is going to make several drinks. We could do an orange next. I'll tell you what, you're getting quite a bit out of these though, aren't you? Now, this is going to have a different taste than your blender. Because when you do the blender, you're going to get the outside, the peel, which isn't necessarily all that delicious. But because this is only squeezing juice, you could probably pick up some tartness. Wouldn't surprise me. Look how nice that cutting board is. Oh my gosh. The citrus cleans your cutting board right up. That's great. This next, I'm going to cut off the stem of my broccoli. Okay, you got your juice ready, huh? Got a bottle for your juice. And you know, you can also get strainers if you want, and run strainers. I do have a little strainer that's made for things this size, if you want. And they had an attachment that came in the bottle too. It looks like it is a strainer. So there's a little strainer attachment that you can put in the bottle if you want. Okay, so are you ready for broccoli? Let's try some broccoli and let's see what it does. And you know, if you do this and you put it with some pineapple or apple or something, you'll get your kids to eat this. They won't even know they're eating broccoli, I'll bet. You know, I've never been really big with kale. I know people started eating kale in California 30 years ago, talking about it, but I guess it's really good and it's really good for you. And a lot of people say, why do you go through all this work? Why don't you just cut it up and eat it? But you realize how many bushel baskets of oranges you would have to eat to get the amount of vitamin C and nutrients that are right there, just in that one glass. The thing is that this juice will interact right away in your bloodstream because it's already juiced. You know, your mouth is a blender. That's the blender chopper. And your stomach is a juicer. So if you deliver the liquid with the nutrients in it to your stomach in the liquid mode, it doesn't have to do all the work. You already did the work for it. We have kale and we have spinach that we can do, as well as apples. Let's try some apples. Let's see what the apples do. Thank you. Now I need my apple cutter. Here it is right here. Now the apple cutter comes this size for apples, but it also comes this size for watermelons. So this is nice, and if you have something that's big, if you have a big apple that you're afraid maybe won't fit in that, you could certainly use it and it will help. That certainly is not easy to cut. This apple's pretty fresh. Pull that, turn it on please. And this is something kind of fun to do for a little bit. You're just standing here running all this through the machine, knowing that you're going to have a healthy drink in just a little bit. Okay, I'll put a couple in. I think more ripe is better if your fruit is more ripe. Fresher fruit may not be the best. So far, I'm giving this thing an A+. I don't think I'm going to ding it for this tray being small or the funnel being small. I don't really think that's a major hurdle. I definitely like the external output for the waste and how the juice is there. I definitely think that's a plus on this one. So I like this. I'm happy I bought it. No plans to return it. No regrets for buying it. Let's try this on a small apple. Now, these apples are over a week older than the other ones. So these are going to be more ripe. And this thing's a little smaller. You might get a little bit more torque on it. And this is the second one of these that we had. We had one that was white that we kind of, I think, wore out. It cracked. Because we do apples with dinner. We do it as a side. One little thing that I'm noticing as this is juicing is I wish there was a little bit more of a compartment to put that cup in. It tends to want to move, and if you don't keep an eye on it, you're going to have juice running on the counter. So I like things to be a little bit more connected, maybe a little slot that it goes in or pocket that it goes in. And if this thing was a little bit longer, then it would have more room. But as is, it certainly works good. And now this was not a real expensive one either. I paid probably half for this one of what you could spend. So they start, I think, at about 60 some bucks and go up towards 200 for juicers. And of course, if you get the celebrity juicers, you know, they probably cost a little bit more because you got the celebrity endorsement. This one here was endorsed by nobody. Okay, we have a glass of apples. I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I think we showed what we do, and you all get the point that it's pretty easy to do. A little bit of a mess. Definitely cleans and sanitizes up your cutting board and stuff. And if you want to take the liquid you got and strain it to get all the seeds out, good. If not, drop in one of these little strainer components that they give you like that, and put it here where you can see it. Just looks like that. And then you have a lid that you can screw on top of it. Good positive lid. Looks like you can screw it down tight. I don't see it leaking. Throw this in a gym bag or a backpack. Take it with you on the road, and you don't have to refrigerate this stuff. And what I do, if you do want to refrigerate stuff, is I take water bottles and I throw them in the freezer, and then I put them in my bag or backpack. So we're going to clean all this up, and we'll finish juicing some other things. And I guess we'll say goodbye to you for now. But one thing that I did want to mention to you was to subscribe, hit the bell if you like the show and you want to see more of what we do. Also, we like to do the question of the day.
The question of the day, do you like apples? If you like apples, give thumbs up.
That's our show for now.